Sea of Thieves was developed by Rare, and it's still currently receiving updates as it follows the games as a service model. This game, to put it bluntly, is fantastic. The gameplay of Sea of Thieves is straightforward. You have 3 ships to accommodate all your crew sizes from 2 to 4. The smallest ship is harder to hit, but it's also the fastest to turn. And then you have the biggest ship called the Galleon. Super ship, massive, can accommodate 4 people. It's the fastest ship possible, but it's also the hardest to turn, and it's also the hardest to manage, being that it's such a big ship. For example, you have to repair your ships during battles. Whether it's you have the smallest ship or the biggest ship, it's the same scenario. However, the size of the ship does vary a lot on how you have to manage that ship. You have to repair your ship. For example, when you get hit by a cannonball, you have to make sure you have a really solid crew to, not sink it. Don't sink, guys. Don't do that. Every ship has the pros and cons. Again, the smallest ship, called the sloop, is the fastest to turn, and is also the hardest to hit, being that it's so tiny. Then you have the Galleon, again, which we just discussed, the biggest ship. Then we have one right down the middle. It's probably the most balanced ship of them all, called the Brig, and it accommodates 3 people. With your crew, you go ahead and sail the seas that Sea of Thieves has to offer, and it's a pretty fun experience. You collect voyages from different factions. The goal of the game is pretty much to get Pirate Legend ranking. And to do that, you have to get rank 50 on multiple different factions before you can even get that far. And it's a long process. But at the same time, there's nothing that really puts you at a disadvantage if you don't do it. So now that you have some voyages, go ahead and grab a quest with your friends and go sailing and make some doubloons. Now, with the money that you do accumulate in the game, you can use it to purchase cosmetic items such as weaponry and ship upgrades. Yes, only cosmetic upgrades. There is no actual progression, for example, like stronger cannons, stronger pistols, stronger shotguns. It's just not a thing in Sea of Thieves. They want to keep this game as balanced as possible, and for anyone to jump in at any point, no matter how long you've been away from the game, you're never truly at a disadvantage. The only defining factor of whether or not you're going to make it in Sea of Thieves is your actual skill level. And that's all that really matters here. If you don't know how to shoot a cannon properly, if you don't know how to repair your ship properly, if your crew is a mess and does not function well, you will not survive in this game. But just keep playing, find your group of friends, and eventually you'll be a solid enough player that you'll feel like you've grown as a pirate, even though you haven't actually increased in power. With a well-oiled crew, you'll have someone normally steering, someone down repairing the ship if necessary, or as I like to call him, the bucket boy. Just get that bucket and scoop the water out the ship. Someone manning the cannons, someone controlling the sails. It is a fun experience. And, once you have that good crew and you have your really good group of friends that really do enjoy the game, you'll find sailing extremely enjoyable. However, you're sailing sometimes and you're just sitting there, so it can get a little dull. So why not pull out a banjo, a little drum, and play some music while you guys get to your next destination. Besides just pirating and taking down other rival ships that you see on the seas, there is actually a group of cooperative events here that, really does encourage the other pirates to team up with each other, not just the ones in your crew, the ones outside. And there's big fortresses that you guys can conquer together. There's a fleet of ghost ships you can conquer together. That just makes it a lot easier if you do have like another ship with you or another 2 set of ships with you. And now, whether or not you want to keep that alliance after you guys get the loot from those events, personally, I would take them down. But to each their own. I'm just that kind of toxic player, I guess. Now, there is no real story in Sea of Thieves. Instead, you get lore from just like random text files that you get around town sometimes, or the Tall Tale Voyages. The Tall Tales is really where you get the big meat of the lore in this game. And the Tall Tales was something that this game didn't really launch with. But I appreciate the inclusion of the Tall Tales. The Tall Tales actually bring an extra layer to the voyages that makes it a lot more different. And instead of it being as repetitive as it would be with the other factions whenever you grab their quests, they can be a little bit more creative with what they have here. For example, one might have you follow constellations to get to your next destination, or the next one would have you follow the love tale of Captain Brigsby and get all their heirlooms and figure out what made their love so cherished with each other. It's just fun. It's nothing that you need to do. It's there if you want it, and you do get some good cosmetic rewards on the way as you complete them, and some fun lore. We haven't really even talked about how the game looks yet. The game looks fantastic. It does go with a more cartoonic approach. However, the water, fantastic. All those hydro homies out there, you're gonna be thirsty once you see this water. It is so good. Sea of Thieves is an ever-expanding game. Again, being a game as a service, I don't expect to see this game dying down anytime soon. The player base is massive with this game, so you will always find a group of people to play with. Just do some looking for group sessions on Xbox, or just sail around. Keep your voice chat open and just communicate. It's so fun. So again, this game is available on Game Pass. It is available on PC and Xbox. And the benefit is it's also crossplay with PC. So if you have some PC buddies, send them that invite and, have them play with you. If you need a pirate game to play and Assassin's Creed 4 left a taste in your mouth that you felt like could have been so much more, Sea of Thieves is the game to play, guys. I give this game an 8.5 out of 10. So what are you waiting for? Go ahead, get on that steering wheel, get on those cannons, repair your ship, and have some fun in Sea of Thieves. And don't forget to invite some friends. Everything's better with friends.